If you've been a long-time listener of the podcast Geek News Reviews and Opinions, you may recall that we discussed the development of this film in one of our earliest episodes. However, this was really far back when Ron Howard was going to initially adapt the Stephen King series into a television series, as opposed to a standalone film. After numerous changes of directors and approaches, we've now come to the release of the film itself. Does it hold up? Was it worth the wait? I'd say so. Full disclosure, I've never read any of the books nor any of the comic adaptations of The Dark Tower. I knew it existed, and I know that many of Stephen King's stories are connected to it, but for the most part, I was walking into this blind. I did go in with fairly high hopes, as I enjoy watching both Idris Elba and Matthew McConaughey, so having them in the same film put it on my radar. Coming out of it, what I got was a thoroughly entertaining fantasy action film that doesn't overstay its welcome, nor does it try to turn the genre into something it's not. It pulls you into a world with a vast cosmology, but doesn't bog itself down with a bunch of pointless exposition. While there are a number of references to past events of the book series and other Stephen King stories, the film does a really good job of slowly introducing you to the world and getting you up to speed. The action is pretty well executed, and manages to avoid some of the more obnoxious cliches of modern action films where there's an abundance of smash cuts and shaky cam. While those are present, the film knows when to slow down to allow the viewer to get reoriented. As for the acting, both Elba and McConaughey play off each other very well. While we don't get much in the way of chemistry, we do see performances that sell the intensity of their interactions and emphasize the contrast between hero and villain, especially as you see Roland's wild and almost frantic rage brushing up against the Man in Black's cool, aloof demeanor. If there was one thing I had a problem with, it's that the film does move at a pretty quick pace. While the beginning has a bit of a slow boil, once our main character Jake meets up with Roland, the film goes full speed ahead through the story. While it's good that the film doesn't drag, it can feel like it's going a mile a minute if you're not paying attention. Overall, The Dark Tower is a fast-paced, intense action movie that is clear in its tone and presented with a sense of narrative precision. While it alludes to the events of the past novels, it gives you what information you need to be able to follow the story, even if you've never read them. It strikes a nice balance between horror and fantasy and sets the stakes clearly. It does feel a bit quick once the story is underway, but by the time things speed up, you'll already be invested and able to keep up. All of that said, The Dark Tower gets a 5 out of 5. So that's it for this episode of Romney's Reviews. Thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time.